This is a discussion of the most recent and upcoming Digimon Beatbreak episodes, so naturally if you clicked on a Digimon Beatbreak episode about the new stuff, you can expect spoilers ahead. Well, Digimon Beatbreak was light-hearted this week. The tragic story of Haruomi and Commandramon, and the revelation that Clay would probably have been on the files. But also, Digimon Web made a bit of an oopsie this week and gave us a big indication of what's about to happen for Digimon Beatbreak with another, this time leaked, Digimon Tamers Digimon Evolution. What is up, digital companions? My name is Karn EX and welcome back to another video. If it's not welcome back, of course, liking, commenting, subscribing helps massively. Let's turn this silver into gold. It's honestly rare that we actually get legitimate leaks for Digimon, like substantial ones. Obviously, sometimes idiotic YouTubers are given early access to Digimon and allowed to fly out to LA and things like that, but aside from dummies like Karn EX and other YouTubers that cover Digimon that I love very much, you guys are the best, leaks are few and far between in comparison to things like Pokemon, which really has a thriving leak culture between games. In recent memory, the only times I can think of it happening are for Time Stranger itself accidentally being leaked by a GameStop listing before the state of play, Beatbreak being semi-leaked by the Digimon anime website before it got revealed, and Ghost Game randomly leaking on I think a Chinese message board or something like that. Other than that, we don't tend to get big leaks like this. I will also say that Sony, PlayStation have announced a state of play for February 12th, exactly 1 year since the state of play that announced Time Stranger and of course the leak on GameStop, so I'll be streaming that, keep an eye out for it. Very quickly, this week's episode of Beatbreak was fantastic. I think it's very interesting that this new character, Haruomi, is one of few people to get a full-on profile for Digimon Beatbreak. We've seen this happen with, obviously, the Glowing Dawn, the Tactics team, and the 5 stars, as well as Chairman Wong, but not every person with a Digimon partner gets these profiles. If we look at Haruko and Shademon, she didn't get one even though they both survived the episode. And with Clay apparently auctioning Digimon and children release the Clay files in the next episode this week, we've actually seen that it is not the case that all prominent kids or all prominent characters get a profile, as while they have shared information on the new character Yume Ikihara that's partnered with a Tinkermon and voiced by a VTuber that I'm not familiar with. Sorry, I really don't watch VTubers. Cool that a VTuber's getting the opportunity to do voices in Digimon though. What about a flesh tuber, Toei? One day. Even this character has not received a full profile, just art. So I do think, despite what happened, again, if you want full episode breakdowns, I would recommend going to check out my pal Corey over at the Digino. I do think that Haruomi and Commandramon, or I guess now Bommon, are going to return, and I feel like because they got a profile, they are going to be important. Whether they're counted as like the 6th Ranger equivalent, that's a trope by the way, not the literal number 6, or something else, I think especially Commandramon going down to Bommon gives us an opportunity to introduce a brand new rookie partner for Haruomi and kind of break the trauma of war. But alright, you're not just here for recaps and stuff and information on the confirmed information for Digimon Beatbreak, are you? You're here for the leaks, you dirty little leak consumers. Don't like that actually, never mind. After this week's episode of Digimon Beatbreak, Digimon Web accidentally posted a Digimon profile for a brand new evolution, and this is your last chance, full spoilers now. Check out now if you don't want to know an upcoming evolution in Beatbreak for the supporting cast. Yes, they shared Azdarmon, which, well, visually looking at it, while it didn't confirm it in the post, is obviously a Monodramon and Ramphomon evolution. It's a pterosaur just like Ramphomon and continues that kind of very dinosaur vibe they're going for with Monodramon's evolutions, but also I guess all of Tactics evolutions so far, because we also have Shakomon becoming Tylomon, which is leading some people to wonder whether Ludomon is not going to become Ludomon, but instead something like Stegomon, which I think is possible. It's a virus attribute, and it's a pterosaur Digimon with 3 giant blades growing from its body. Azdarmon is a fearsome predator that lives in cold mountainous regions, reigning as the top beast of prey in the area. With excellent eyesight, it can spot prey unnoticed from extremely high altitudes and plummet down to dispatch it skillfully using the blades growing from its body. As a top predator, it is rarely attacked by other Digimon, however, it can often get into fatal conflicts with other Azdarmon in disputes over territory. When hunting, Fighting, it uses Tomahawk Strike, transferring the energy from a sudden descent into its blades to kill with a single blow. Try Carve Rain, an attack that uses the 3 blades on its head and wings to slice opponents to pieces. And Trinity Lightning, a high voltage lightning attack fired from its blades, are rarely used when hunting prey. These attacks are mostly used to fight enemies that enter its territory. So this obviously hasn't happened in the Digimon anime yet. We have not seen Asdarmon happen. But if you look at Ramphomon, this is a clear evolution step up. Instead of a crystal on the tail, it now gets a full-on axe, I guess, and is covered in blades. It gets its name from the Asdarchidae, a family of pterosaurs from the late Cretaceous period. But also, the Asdarchidae and Asdarmon are also named after the Asdar or Ajdar, a draconic creature in Persian mythology. So technically, there is still a hint of the Dramon from Monodramon. It's a really cool merging of real-life dinosaurs, or pterosaurs, and dragons, which Japan likes to do too. As a reminder, the Japanese word for dinosaur, Kyoryu, contains the word Ryu, which is the Japanese word for dragon. This leaking this soon, I honestly don't know what this means for when Asdarmon is going to show up. Could it be that it shows up next week and this was 1 week early, or could it be that the episode featuring Asdarmon has now been finished animating and we're going to be looking at a few more weeks until it shows up? I don't know. Regardless, I do think this is absolutely in response to Tomoro this episode getting his E-Pulse even higher and creating a new attack for Armalizamon that Raito hadn't seen before. So Armalizamon didn't digivolve, but we did see a new E-Pulse, a new beat for Tomoro and Armalizamon, and so presumably soon Ramphomon and Raito are gonna have to digivolve to answer that threat. If we assume Beatbreak is 49 episodes like reported by a couple of outlets, that could actually make sense. We're approaching episode 20, and considering how many Digimon we need to see at least hit Ultimate this series, it makes sense that it would be happening soon. We still need to see a champion for Ludomon, and then all of Tactics I think are going to get at least Ultimate like I've talked about before. I think it's quite likely that Tactics are going to bow out as main enemies at the Ultimate level, and then the 5 stars are going to take over as Ultimate and Mega level threats. As far as evolutions go though, I'm not sure when we're going to see them. Perhaps we're even going to get a reverse order of the champions. The Order 2 champion we saw in this season was Wolvermon right in episode 1, then Knight Chiropmon a little later, and then Armalizamon. So what if this time it's Geckomon's ultimate, Chiropmon's ultimate, and finally Wolvermon's ultimate, before the next arc begins around episode 30 to 35, and during that period we're also going to see Asdarmon, maybe an evolution for Tylomon, and finally even Ludomon digivolving, bringing us up to the next arc beginning at around episode 30 to 35, meaning that during that arc, core, whatever you want to call it, perhaps against the 5 stars, maybe even Gokumon becoming Seiten Gokumon, we could also get Murasamemon finally digivolving to Mega if it doesn't die. There is still something of the Leomons about him that makes me worried. I think given so far that Hotaruko has had only existing Digimon, nothing brand new for her evolutions, means there's probably going to be less of a priority on her getting a brand new Ultimate or Mega. I think they're more likely to use existing Digimon like Sharkmon, maybe even Venusmon for the Mega. And as for Ludomon, I truly don't know. I do like the idea of keeping the dinosaur theme going, having Stegomon be its champion form, but maybe it just stays at Ludomon forever? I don't know, truly. What we do know though is that Raito is getting a full new evolution line, so he's also kind of 6th Ranger coded. I'd love to see him and Haruomi join the party and actually fill out our ranks to a round 6, but I don't know if that's going to happen. This also makes it much more likely we're going to see a brand new Mega for Ramphomon and Asdarmon too, and I'm very curious to see how that's going to mirror Armalizamon and its evolutions. And then into the final arc, like I say, if the 5 stars all have Mega Digimon, and indeed Murasamemon is probably going to get to Mega if it doesn't die, what are the final forms for the rookie trio of Beatbreak? Geckomon, Pristimon, and Chiropmon. There's so much possibility here, and I do love how it all seems to be resonating with their partner and challenges they face. Anyway, that's it for today. I just wanted to talk about Asdarmon this leak and how it might have ramifications for Beatbreak going forward. This week's episode looks insane. Straight up Digimon captured, being auctioned off alongside the children that they are created from. Like, this season is going places, and I am so ready for it. Also, like I say, there is a state of play this week. It's going to be an hour. I am reacting to it live. Obviously, there won't be Digimon Beatbreak news there, but it's quite likely that the DLC 3 for Time Stranger will be there, and maybe something more, who knows. And then next month is Digimon Con, so there is much more Digimon news coming. Thank you to my sovereigns, ZDK14, Chaotic Prophet, Lupus Lichtlord, and Jeremy Babineau over on patreon.com/Karn EX, plus everyone else who's my patron over there, my YouTube channel members here on YouTube. You guys are holding it down, getting so much more exclusive and early access content for you now. It is all in production, and I'll see you next time when we go digital. Bye bye.